I was a little disappointed in everything that I've seen with it, just from the simple fact that like these guys had a lot of time to do this, and it was really hyped up, and they have an extraordinary amount of resources. And they came through and they dropped a social media app, but they're not even on mobile.
Let me play really quick this Coinbase NFT trailer. We'll touch on this marketplace, and then we'll make our way through the episode here. All right, so we had Coinbase launch the NFT Marketplace, I believe, yesterday at this point, and it's been long awaited. I think they came out with a couple announcements. I know they had that Super Bowl ad as well for Coinbase, so it's been a long time coming, and they finally dropped it there on 4/20. So, guys, what was your initial thoughts about the release? And we can go into some different features as well. Lou, I'll start with you, and we can go clockwise here.
Yeah, so originally I didn't have access, but I got it yesterday. And so I played around in there a little bit, and it has a lot of work it needs done. There's not really good filtering. You go into your own page, and it's all of your hidden junk that gets sent to you. It's not really organized all too well. You can't click in to different traits. That part that you were just showing, the comment section, has been super hyped. I think that's going to get
that comment right there was funny too,
heavily trolled. Yeah, all of these comments are just ridiculous. I should go in there and just start commenting on some stuff, but they give you, it's how it's been worded a lot, which I like, is it's Instagram of NFTs. It's like you're scrolling through Instagram. It shows like people to follow, different collections to look for. It gives you those suggestions. So right now, I think I'm not really that excited to use it, but we'll see long term, I guess.
So it's funny to see because, I didn't get access to it. I know a lot of people in the Discord did. And the first thing you see is all the screenshots of all the comments and all the trolling happening. And the biggest story was, someone took Farouk's name on it, and it just became this big trolling thing on Twitter, and Farouk even like doxed the guy for like taking his name and all that. But so far, and like you said, it's a lot of comparisons to creating like a Facebook, Instagram kind of vibe, which I think is cool. It kind of, I guess, integrating Web3, Web2. I'm sure there's still a lot of kinks and stuff they got to work out. Kind of like when Looks Rare, was released, they still have a lot of work to do and fix, and they're still tweaking certain things. So,
man, you guys are super nice. I'm gonna come through and choose violence on this shit. Let's go. I'm not feeling it, like, personally, and so like I am 100% biased. So y'all get to know, like, I work for a social media app, and like it feels like they're just trying to make it a social media app, less of a marketplace. For those of us already been here, that we're either on Looks or OpenSea or anything like that, I started to use Gem all the time. Gem is like the easiest thing to use to buy, to sweep, to list, all that stuff, and you get more eyeballs on it. I was a little disappointed in everything that I've seen with it, just from the simple fact that like these guys had a lot of time to do this, and it was really hyped up, and they have an extraordinary amount of resources. And they came through and they dropped a social media app, but they're not even on mobile. Like, they don't have mobile, right? Like, that's crazy. I also think it's trash that they're going to make somebody, like, look, I get it when people squat on names, but to make somebody move off of a name, like, bro, be faster. Like, I don't know, do better. Like, yeah. Shit.
The problem with that is because they chose to go a Web 2 route instead of using Web 3, using an ENS service where you could actually connect your wallet and claim your name. I don't know why they didn't do that. I guess they're trying to onboard more normies and all that stuff. But I feel like if you're truly gonna have a marketplace, you need to have wallet ENS integration that people can't take your name and all that stuff because, like you said, Pranksy, someone could take Pranksy, start selling all these garbage NFTs that are just fake NFTs and people buying scams and all that. I just feel like, yeah, certain things like Jared said, they kind of failed on pretty hard just because the resources and funding they had for this and how long they took to roll this out. Yeah, like I said, certain things that they definitely just kind of dropped the ball on.
I pulled up Gem Marketplace. Obviously, like the Connect Wallet feature probably opens up the a little bit more of the system. But yeah, give me a little like TLDR and like a 30-minute pitch on or a 30-second pitch on Gem.
It's a market aggregator. So like anything that you would have in DeFi, that's an aggregator. Like it's the same thing here. So like, first of all, you can go up at the top. You can type anything in there. You can put multiple pieces in your cart from multiple collections. You can sort by traits. You can sweep floors. You see the little broom button in the upper right-hand side, and you can say how many you want to sweep, and you just buy a certain amount of the floor.
That's dope.
You can also do it where you sell, and it will list you across OpenSea, Looks, X2, Y2, all that shit.
It's really good with especially when OS is down, which is like half the time. I normally go on Gem because it's a lot easier on mobile to use as well. It's a lot quicker. And like Jerry said, you could get the floor price across all the marketplaces, which is great. And then let's say you try to sweep something. Let's say you try to get 10 of something, and 3 of those are already sold. The transaction goes through, and it'll just refund you the difference for the ETH. So you don't have to worry about that.
The last piece I want to touch on with this Coinbase before we move on to music NFTs and a couple other things is what it means for OpenSea. Right, like we saw Looks Rare kind of come out in a very like Web3 way. That they launched with a token as well. They have like extra incentives for trading. For all intents and purposes, the fact that it's still around and still doing really well is a good thing for Looks Rare. It could have easily been a complete flop out the gate, but this is a whole nother beast, right? Coinbase NFT. What do you guys think Coinbase NFT means for OpenSea long term?
I think long term, Coinbase could become a winner, but short term, not. I think the idea of the custodial side, and you see people tweet out, "Oh, at OpenSea, like my Bored Ape got stolen," and I think Coinbase is going to help with some of that. It's going to help with sort of more intro onboarding people into NFTs, people who already have a Coinbase account and don't know what a MetaMask is, things like that. So I think long term it's probably good for the space, but so many people, even using Gem, people don't know that it exists and they only know of OpenSea. So I think OpenSea is such a far lead right now that they're probably fine until someone like Coinbase figures something out that OpenSea doesn't have that does well.
I think it's great because it creates I guess it creates this challenge for all of them to retain customers, right? So they want to do better. They want to fix certain things. They want to make sure their customers are happy. What I like about it is how Looks Rare kind of pivoted, and now they're actually paying you to list on their site. As long as you're within 1.5 the price of the floor. So I think that was great. I'm bullish on Looks Rare. I'm staking my tokens, and I feel like the listing thing is cool because you're farming these tokens as well while having maybe some NFTs that you don't really care about. As long as you list them above floor, they'll be fine. As long as they're in the top 25 of volume, I believe that's what the requirements are. But I feel like overall this is good because like I said, it creates a need for them to be better and get better because they want to keep retaining those fees from the customers and the user base. So yeah, I think long term, like Lou said, I think Coinbase could be the winner. Right now, OS is the leader just because it's been around for so long and it was the first one in the space. But yeah, I mean, half the time it's down and it's just glitchy and buggy to this day, just because it can't handle the traffic. But yeah, I think in the long run, one of those two are definitely going to become the top dog in the space. And I wouldn't not bet against Coinbase just because, like Jared said, they have so much funding and resources behind it that they really can't afford to lose.
Yeah, for me, so like I actually agree with both of you guys on this one. I think more competition is a good thing because it's going to make people do different things. So when people get shit stolen, like legitimately stolen, not like a fat finger thing. That's not stolen. That was you being a schmuck and doing something stupid. But when something gets legitimately stolen, if somebody can help you out, like OpenSea needs that. Like there needs to be a little bit more of a human touch on it to an extent. And I'll say this too, because when Looksquare comes out and they innovate things, or when Coinbase comes out and they innovate things, I think OpenSea will pivot. Now, truthfully, I think that Coinbase is going to do really, really well long term, because if we do hit this section of like mass adoption, they're the stop. They're the starting. Like my money originally when I first got into this all came from Coinbase, then it would go to MetaMask type of thing, right? So like if you don't have to take that extra step, it's less friction. I agree. There's issues with the custodial and non-custodial wallet, but a lot of newer people will be like, well, why do I have to go start a MetaMask if I can just do that right here, type of thing. So I think it'll make it interesting, but I think it'll make them. I think it'll make the places like OpenSea and them innovate. But I also think that like there will be times that people don't want to deal with the social aspect of it too. All that to say, I'll still take the aggregator.
Yeah. For being an experienced user, an aggregator is 100% the way to go. I think that we have a lot more people to onboard into NFTs, and Coinbase, like you said, they don't have to take the next step. They already have the people there. So